What's the problem? What's the problem? What's the problem?
Someone killed my parents.
Pardon me?
Someone killed my parents.
What? Who? Are they still there?
Yes.
The people...
No.
Were they shot?
Hey, man, kill.
Were they shot?
Yes.
They were shot?
Yes.
What you are hearing right now is a 911 call from Lyle Menendez on August 20th, 1989. As you can hear, he describes how his parents were brutally murdered. But the motives of this murder are much more complicated than it seems, because it has just become one of the most complex and most discussed crimes in American history. But before we get to the actual murders, we have to go back to 1960. José Enrique Menendez from Cuba had just emigrated to the United States. At university, he met his wife, Mary Louise Anderson, whom he married in 1964. José was a successful businessman in the entertainment industry, and Mary worked as a teacher. In 1968, their first son, Lyle, was born, and 2 years later, Erik. José became the manager of a company known as International Video Entertainment, and the whole family moved to Beverly Hills, California, where they lived a luxurious life. Even if it doesn't look like that at first glance, the family didn't function as it should. José was a strict and demanding father. He was also an unfaithful husband with a string of mistresses. While Mary battled alcoholism and mental illness, this of course reflected on their sons who had to watch it. It's August 20th, 1989, and Lyle and Erik enter the family room where their parents, José and Mary, are sitting watching television. The brothers aimed two 12-gauge shotguns at José's head and shot a total of 6. Their mother was alerted by the noise and tried to run away. During the escape, she was hit with a total of 10 wounds. The last blow hit her in the face. After the murders, they called 911 and waited for the police to arrive. At first, it seemed like a mob killing, but since there were no signs of robbery, it looked more like a planned murder rather than pure senseless violence. However, as the investigation followed, it shifted its attention to the brothers. Within the next 6 months, Lyle and Erik inherited their parents' money and started spending it wildly, amounting to about $700,000. The brothers' lives started to be pursued by the police as their pattern of deception and carelessness was discovered. Erik also started seeing his psychologist, Dr. Jerome Oziel. During one of their therapy sessions, Erik confides in him about the murder, describing how he and Lyle planned and committed the murders of their parents. Dr. Oziel recorded the session, including the confession.
What do you feel? Upset. Yeah. Hurt? Sad? What? Well, I pushed them out of my mind. It doesn't matter what they were or what they actually were. Whether it's a fantasy or it wasn't. They were very apparent in my mind before this and led up to the fact where I had no choice. I would have taken any other choice. It's too painful. He was somebody that I loved and almost had no choice to do what I did. And I hate myself for doing it. It was something that was beyond control. And what was beyond control? Did you have plans? Eventually, it had to happen.
Police obtained the recording after his girlfriend heard it. Lyle was arrested outside the family home in Beverly Hills on March 8, 1990. 3 days later, Erik, who was playing in a tennis tournament in Israel, surrendered to the police.
It was nearly a year ago that one of this town's most ambitious, charming, promising new executives and his wife were savagely murdered in their home. A murder so strange, everyone searched the dark byways of movie fiction for explanations, until the prosecutor said that he had the darkest explanation of all, and he charged the two sons with the crime.
The trial began in July 1993, with media coverage and the whole thing being broadcast live on court TV. The brothers were motivated by money, as their father's fortune was estimated at about $14 million. They liked to spend money, so that seemed to be the motive they had for murdering their parents. But what was the real motive for these murders? The brothers told a completely different story in court. They said there was no greed, but years of abuse from their parents. The brothers testified before a judge in court that their father had sexually molested them both since they were young boys. Lyle testified that his father began molesting him when he was 6 years old and continued for years. They described their father as a bully and abuser, while their mother looked on. The defense said the brothers did what they did out of fear and desperation rather than greed. They claimed that on the night of the murders, they believed their parents were going to kill them to cover up the abuse. The defense brought witnesses, some of whom were family members, to testify about the conditions at the Menendez home. Witnesses recalled Lyle discussing the sexual abuse with his friends when they were young children. Friends say that José was an extremely domineering father who attacked his sons and pushed them really hard.
When you first went to stay with them, were you treated well?
In 1976, yes.
And did that change over the period of time that you went to visit them?
Very much so.
And did José change during that period of time? Or did he stay the same?
Pretty much the same, only more so.
More what?
Intense, driven, arrogant.
Okay.
Did Erik begin a conversation with you?
Yes.
And do you recall how the conversation began?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, would you tell us how it began?
He asked me if my dad ever gave me massages.
What did he say about where the massages were?
Well, he told me his father was massaging his neck.
And to your knowledge, in, say, the period between 1980 and 1982, was Erik a member of the swimming team?
Yes.
And did he practice?
He practiced by himself most of the time, with his mother coaching him.
And was she teaching him how to swim? Was she in the pool with him, or what?
No, she was along the side of the pool, running up and down the side of the pool, asking him or telling him to hurry up, you have to swim faster. Often she had a stopwatch when she was doing so.
The trial split public opinion. Some people saw the brothers as victims who went through terrible experiences and finally lost control. Others thought they were rich kids who fabricated a story of abuse to justify their awful crime. Some people did not believe their sad testimonies in court and branded them fake. After 6 months of serious court cases, this trial ended without a decision by the jury. They requested a retrial. During the trial, the defense counsel could not introduce evidence of abuse. Judge Stanley Weisberg ruled that there was not enough evidence before him for him to declare that José had sexually abused his sons. Lyle and Erik were sentenced to life in prison in March 1996 for first-degree murder convictions. Both also received an unconditional denial of the likelihood of parole. In May 2023, new evidence emerged that could give the case another round. A letter from Erik, one written to a cousin in 1988, revealed that he mentioned that his father sexually raped him. Also, Roy Roselio, a former member of the boy band Menudo, said he was sexually assaulted by José Menendez in the early 1980s at RCA Records, while José was working there as a manager. After the revelations, debates resurfaced about whether the brothers' claims were true. and whether their trial was fair. Because of their current first-degree murder convictions, they are serving life sentences without parole, although their legal team is pushing for their release. This case has gone down in American criminal history, and its motive definitely has two sides.